Okay, well, that's JKHRE. Goodbye. What a beautiful song. Hopefully, you did enjoy that song with me right here on the studio. I've told you I'm not alone today. Where I've got a guest, and we are definitely going to talk to him. He's going to introduce himself and tell you exactly who he is. Where sometimes we make mistakes, Tina, by trying to undertake everything, but I introduce everything. No way. Yeah, sometimes you just have to let people talk about who they are. That helps, Wabona. That helps you will not leave any detail. But in the details, it's not cool, Wabona. Yeah, let me greet my people from Midrand. I know there are a lot of people listening from Midrand. Hopefully, people in Midrand, you are okay, you are doing good, everything is okay. We are broadcasting, right on the hot city of Johannesburg. Goldroof says whether it's exactly where we are. Do not forget, we are on Facebook. You can follow us on Facebook and definitely like our page, Dr. Tsepo Radio, and Instagram. Also, you can follow Dr. Tsepo_radio. That's exactly where we are. Do not forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel, Dr. Tsepo Radio. That's exactly how you can be able to get and listen and watch every video that we can ever post. So don't make a mistake. Just make sure you follow us from every platform that you can. Our WhatsApp line is 078-2163-778. And today, right here on the studio, I've got my guest, Tonano Chabalala. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you and to the listeners as well.
Yes.
And thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure for you making time to come and chill with us right here on the studio. Yeah. Tonano Chabalala, who is Tonano Chabalala? I think that's where we should start.
Tonano Chabalala, I will say, is an author and a speaker, and at the same time I'm an entrepreneur. There's a company that we run called Chaval Investment Holdings.
Oh yes.
So Chaval Investment Holding is a multifaceted company with different companies like under it. So I would say in short then that's Tonano Chabalala, a speaker, an author, and an entrepreneur. So that's what I basically do. Okay. And I'm all about that and about empowerment as well. Yes.
So, Chaval
Investment Holdings.
Investment Holdings. It means it have got a lot of divisions under it. A lot of things going around.
Yes.
We are going to know about that a lot right here on the studio. Yeah. That is Tonano Chabalala for you, and he's right here on the studio as I have promised. I know a lot of you promised to tune in. Yeah, Mnaga, I know you promised that. I know you are definitely in. You'll be like, oh, Mnaga, I'm going to listen to that, but I'm not going to miss it. Okay, Mnaga, we are right here live. Be ready to ask any question that you will feel like you want to ask Tonano Chabalala. He's right there. Some of you have seen him go TV. Give us a TV, man. You can talk to him and ask him any question that you will want to ask. We are definitely gonna be talking about what I promised, the book that he had written. Before we get to the book that he had written, I know there's a story behind each and every achievement that people made. Mr. Chabalala,
yes, sir.
How did we get here to the Chaval investment and all of these things and all the divisions and everything? How did we get there?
No, I think growing up, I was a person who was a dreamer, and I'm still a dreamer.
Yes.
So I aspired to make a difference in society. So, but my childhood, my upbringing was not easy. It was difficult. There was a lot of challenges along the journey. So somehow, as I see myself going through the things that I was going through at the time, then I realized that no, there must be something that through these experiences that I'm going through, that I will give to the society. So I believed that what I was going through, it was not something that was in vain, but it was actually to help other people in the future, so that when they go through similar experiences, they might be able to relate that, okay, yes, and Tonano Chabalala went through this, and now he is here. So that's where I actually come from, and then I went to tertiary. At tertiary, that's where Chaval Investment Holdings was born.
Okay.
There was a project we were given at school about creating a media conglomerate or a big company of some sort. So there was a profile that one designed of the company.
Okay.
And for me, it was more than just an assignment. I realized that no, this is what I actually want to have in the future.
Okay.
So that's how basically Chaval Investment Holdings was born. Yeah, but before then, because there was lack of knowledge, not understanding how businesses works, and then one registered companies, and then there were mistakes, and there was loss of money in the process. But ultimately, eventually, then Chaval Investment Holdings was born, looking at all the things that one went through. And the book as well is more like a reflection of what I went through, the journey that I walked since I was born to the point where I actually graduated, and other experiences going into the workplace and things like those. So I would say that's how Chaval Investment Holdings was born, and also giving birth as well to the book Get Up and Run.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. You heard from the horse's mouth. It's not me explaining. He is telling you that everything that people achieve in this planet Earth, it have a starting point, and a lot of challenges, a lot of complications comes along the way to a point where you feel like, no man, maybe I'm not born for this. But the truth of the matter is, you need to keep on doing what you are doing. Being born in villages like us, being born in the villages, how is that challenging? More especially in fulfilling our dreams. We were talking about something very important this other day, the disadvantage of how we are schooling ourselves.
Yes.
When we go to school, Tina, we don't go to school for knowledge or anything. We go to school to go to the other grade.
Yes.
It's all about going to school. I passed my matric, I went to tertiary, I got an access to get a good job.
Yes.
But the advantage being, we are not maybe introduced to maybe making of a phone. Like we have no idea, nothing of this nature.
Yes.
How was the challenging part in becoming who you are today, born in a village?
Yeah, it was not very easy, especially because you are not exposed to many opportunities at the village. But somehow those difficulties, experiences, like looking after Kekle, looking after goats and so on, it adds to making you who you are in terms of building character, tenacity, the ability to be able to withstand difficulty. I know for sure at primary school, like you have said, it was more about getting into the other grade. There was no application of some sort in terms of I need to apply myself to this so that I can be able to achieve a certain goal. For me, it was like that, sub A, then it was sub A and sub B. We were just moving along with the motions. I will pass. They will say, okay, there's a test today, there's an exam. You get at home, you don't prepare for it. You just arrive on the day, and then you go through your book quickly, and then you go and write, and then you will pass just like that. But then I think the turning point for me, it came when I went to high school. I went to high school, and grade 8, I was still more or less doing things the way I used to do them at primary school, not applying myself, and then I passed, and then I went to grade 9. Grade 9, it was still the same thing. So the light came on when I was at grade 10. I started asking myself questions that, if for all these years then I was passing, making it through to the next grade without really applying myself, what will happen if I was to actually put an effort to what I'm doing? And I started putting an effort at grade 10, and believing me, like things started to change for the better. There was a lot of excellence that one achieved, like at that level, and at that time as well, I started having a picture of the things that I wanted to do in the future. For example, being in the media space. It started becoming clear at that time, because I was actually applying myself, and I was realizing as well the things that I loved doing at the time. Like at the classroom, when the teacher was not around, we'll actually sit around and interview each other. Yes, we'll do things like those, you see, because we're fascinated by that. At home, when I'm by myself, and then I like actually reading a lot, reading a lot of newspapers, reading a lot of books, and as well writing. So it was that kind of a journey. I remember there was one incident when I was at grade 9, because I was now so interested in improving the way I communicate, because coming from the rural areas, they teach you in your mother tongue. So obviously for you to do better, you will have to take it upon yourself to learn. So I wanted to learn the Queen's language, as they call it. So there was a newspaper, I think it's called a sports newspaper, Sokala Doma at the time. I'll read it and a lot. So this other time when we were at the classroom and the teacher was not there, I happened to use a certain word from the newspaper that I have learned. And the word was misunderstanding. But unfortunately, one of my peers there, they were offended by the fact that I used that word misunderstanding. Hey, you think, you understand yourself and all those kind of things. It was not easy, even going out of the school, and then they were making fun of me because I used that word. But that did not deter me, because I realized that if I had to go anywhere in life, I need to take it upon myself to improve myself, to empower myself, no matter what people will do about it. So it was not an easy journey coming from a rural areas. And when you say that, okay, you want to be there, or you want to be on television, you dream about those kind of things, people think like, okay, you are joking, you are playing, you can't be. Those things that are for certain people who are coming from certain backgrounds. We know you are playing here in the dusty streets of this village. Who do you think you are? Yes. So I had to believe in myself. You see that one day then I will be able to make it. I just need to be focused and close my ears to negativity, to the doubting Thomases, people who want to basically believe by seeing. I had to believe it in myself, because I knew that if I did not believe in myself, no one else was going to believe. Yes. So it was that kind of a journey that I walked, experiencing all these difficulties. I remember at the time as well, playing, one used to play with clay, mold things, like the creativity was there from childhood. And I also liked, motivating people, even from a young age. When it was about time for maybe the turn of a year to another year, I used to motivate my peers a lot about the next year. That I remember one of the motivation talks that I will give to them, it was about becoming better. That if anything was to happen like in the next year, then how about you say to yourself, I wish things can be better from the way they are right now. That if then they become better, it means that your life is becoming better and better and better until it comes to a level that you want you want it to arrive to. So those were some of the motivational talks I used to do to my peers. So, but it gave me a picture as well that no, it means that this is something that I should be doing like in the future. Because they always say that if you want to discover yourself, go back to your childhood, where there was no contamination, you were still very young, and then those dreams, and ask yourself, that what did you like to do at the time? What is this thing that you were most passionate about doing without any other influences at the time? And then you go back to that, and then you will discover your purpose from that. Because there's always like how God does these things, like He will always give hints of what you are to become,
yes,
in your childhood.
Yes, definitely.
So you follow that kind of a path. So it was that kind of a journey for me. It was not easy. Things were difficult in the rural area, because obviously many people do not believe that you can attain to certain things. So you have to believe in yourself. Yeah. So I'll say in short, yeah, that's my story. In the rural areas.
In the rural areas. Well,
yes.
Being born in the rural area, it's definitely have its own disadvantages and its own advantages. Yes. And do not forget that when each and every person have got a story, and briefly, that what Mr. Jonathan Chabalala had to say about himself. I can look at him and tell you, like, there's a lot to be said here. There's definitely a lot to be said. The truth of the matter is, we had a challenge which we'll be talking about with friends some other times.
Yes.
Getting to school not knowing exactly what we want to do.
Yeah.
Now when I went to tertiary, I just got there and I find that people are doing logistics, and I'll be like, what is logistics?
Yeah.
And that's what we find ourselves doing. Without even understanding exactly what you're getting yourself into. And it became a challenge here and there. That's why after schooling we just sit down and be like, no man, let me leave this thing. This thing is not exactly. How did you overcome that? Like knowing that you want to be in the media part, and then going strictly to that.
Yes. Yeah, it was not as clear as it is now at the time. Yes. Because I remember when I got to grade 8, then I met my father for the first time, and then as we were communicating, like his dream for me was to become a land surveyor, and perhaps maybe follow his footsteps and go into agriculture, because he's actually into agriculture. So my mother wanted me to be a doctor, and I understand simply because perhaps it's something that she's passionate about.
Like, wow.
Yes, she wanted me to be a doctor. So I had to deal with that. I remember my first application, I applied at institutions like Medunsa. I applied in other institutions like I think University of Cape Town to go and do medicine and even chemical engineering as well. So I think all those voices and the influences, they even kind of like guided the subjects that I chose at grade 10. I was doing maths and science. Yes, so I excelled at maths and science and at grade 10 to a point where there was a point where I nearly got a bursary from Telkom. They came back and said to me that, okay, we want you to come. It's just unfortunate that my parents were not willing to allow me to go and study in Johannesburg at the time. So, but it was kind of a blessing in disguise, because I'm thinking that was not really my interest. Yes. So I went through that process. So grade 12, when I got to grade 12, I was at Keto Numayo High School. There was people from Rosebank College who came to do career guidance and talk about different kinds of subjects, that career paths that one can be able to follow. And I took interest in media studies and journalism simply because I knew that it's kind of like something that I'm interested in doing. So many were surprised when I went to Rosebank College, because they expected me perhaps maybe to go to some university and do science or do these other courses as well. So they thought perhaps maybe it was a kind of a waste for me to follow that kind of a route. But when I got there, and then it was I settled in, and that's when I realized that this is what exactly I want. This is exactly what I want. Not the other things that came on board, the influences that go and do engineering, go and do medicine, go and do land surveying, and go and do agriculture. So that was not me, but others desired that for me. But ultimately, what I got to do, it was what I wanted, because even in the course itself, I got to excel, like to a point where I remember there was a subject, a marketing subject, and then one of the lecturers gave us an assignment and said we must go and come up with a marketing plan of some sort.
Okay.
And then the marketing plan should be about how then we can market the institution, Rosberg College. So at the time, okay, I was not a person to kind of like wait until the delivery date or just few days before delivery date to do the assignments. Immediately I received it, then I will go and I will start working on it. So I did that. I started working on it, and then I delivered it to the lecturer. So now the lecturer was so so surprised that no, this is very, very amazing, because I was not expecting something, because this is a proper marketing plan from someone who's already practicing in that field of marketing. To a point, he took the assignment and went to the class and they said to my fellow students that no, I think this is exactly what I want you to do. This is very, very, very brilliant. So to my surprise, because I guess for him, he kind of like perhaps maybe undermined college as well. He thought college is a lower institution compared to university, to varsity. So he said to me that no. So what are you doing at this college? Because you are not supposed to be at this college. You see. So, so but in short, what I'm trying